Right, and we are live. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Stuart from NetReady, and this is MLM for CEOs, the channel that is aimed at providing key insights into the multi-level marketing industry for company owners out there. In today's episode, we're going to be speaking about the brand ambassador or the network jockey. We're going to be unpacking all that information, and here to help me is my good friend, my mentor, a man with 35 years experience within the multi-level marketing space. I'd like to welcome to you Mr. Richard Sletcher.
Oh, thank you very much. It's good to be back.
It's good to be here. I love these sessions. I love doing this podcast with you. I hope you're providing some good information for the industry.
Yeah, well, look, I know that from the last ones we've done, I've learned a tremendous amount. Because a lot of stuff I've forgotten, then you bring it out and oh yes, I remember that now.
But as I said, I keep thinking of your brain. There's all these file cabinets with all this information on this industry. And each time I ask a question, it just brings this file cabinet to the front. So you pull it out and you have the answer right there.
If I was your age, it would be a computer system with a database. But at my age, it's a filing cabinet with paper files in it.
I was not being ageist there, I promise you. It is. Okay, well, let's get into this episode. This is quite an important one because as a company owner, you cannot be everything in the business. You have to dedicate there are so many different departments that you need to dedicate yourself to.
So many hats.
There's not enough time in the day.
Yeah.
You have to put 8 hours every day into each one of the departments, and there's 10 plus. It's impossible.
So you basically need 80 hours a day to do every job properly.
So how can you do it?
No, it's impossible. You need people.
That's to optimize your business operations and still go out there and build a network. So you're running this traditional business, but you still have to go out there, build a network, train them to become great salespeople and great recruiters. How do you do it?
Exactly.
Now, one of the things that we guide our clients on, company owners in the space, is to have someone within the recruitment and training position to fulfill that position because you don't have the time and capacity as an owner to do so. Now, let's speak about...
What do we call that? You call it the jockey?
We call it, globally, it's the network jockey. It's someone that builds, trains, and motivates the network. Also call them a brand ambassador, but that's a designated term. So let's speak about this person, this him or her, and what role they would be fulfilling in terms of the network.
Okay. So the first thing is that having somebody who's going to build the network is really important. They've got to be charismatic, and your business actually stands and falls on that person.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a really good charismatic person who can get up in front of a group of people and be persuasive enough to get them into the business, who can run Zoom meetings, who can actually do the hard yards in getting that initial team of people, and who can train their leadership up to do the same, you actually don't have a business.
Sure.
Now, a lot of companies, the company owners think they can do it themselves. And the real problem is that they then are building their network part-time. So what happens is they have to run the business. So they're going to make sure that the product is there and that the staff is doing what it's supposed to be doing and the accounting's been done and the software has been set up and all of the things that go into running a traditional business. And then they think they can try and run the network part-time. And it's just impossible. You cannot do a proper job. You can ask anybody who's ever been in a network marketing business who has a full-time job how quickly they were able to build their network marketing business. And they can't.
No.
When I started Acorn Kids, we were in real trouble financially and I needed to get that business off the ground. I was working 18 hours a day. My wife and I, Heike and I, were flat out in that business. I was doing presentations at night. I had a 5 o'clock presentation and I had a 7 o'clock presentation. And then I was doing presentations over the weekend. So I'd work all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And then in the day, I was trying to actually run the business, make sure that the product was on the shelf. Heike was handling the logistics. So she was making sure the products were packed and shipped out the door. But it is a massive, massive task to do that kind of thing yourself. And so your point is to get a network jockey, and his whole job or her whole job is every day, all she does is she goes out there and she does 4 or 5 presentations a day. She's doing the Zoom meetings. She's doing the training with the people. She's connecting with the top leadership, making sure that they're doing what they need to be doing. And for that, you need a very special kind of person. You can't just take anybody off the shelf and hope for the best. I mean, one of our clients, she's a lovely lady, but she's an accountant.
Sure.
And so exactly the opposite of the kind of person that you want running the business. You know, she's beautiful. I think she's wonderful, but she hasn't got the skill set to do this.
Yeah.
So I'd actually throw this ball into your court because you are exactly the kind of person who should be doing the job. You're a typical, perfect network jockey. So what would you be doing? What would you be looking for if you were going out and finding a network jockey?
The thing is, you need someone that is going to be charismatic, that's going to be confident in what they're saying, that is able to do what is required. And we use this term quite often. You need to do what is required to grow the business, whether it's going out into a community that you've never been to before, presenting in front of people that you may have been afraid to present in front of before, masses of people, one-on-one, group presentations, home presentations. You need to be able to do all of those things and do it with the utmost confidence, the utmost passion, the utmost enthusiasm. You know, enthusiasm is an amazing acronym
Yes.
that we've
enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
Yeah.
And you have to be enthusiastic when you present the business, because your prospects are going to see through you not being enthusiastic and say, well, the guy presenting to me, he's not enthusiastic about this company. Why should I? So if I can go out there and with confidence and authority present this business in any format, if it's online or in person, those are the people that you need.
Exactly.
And they're very hard to come by. They are very hard to come by.
And you can't, and so you also need somebody who can close.
Sure.
Somebody who's not afraid to ask for the deal. And because you've got to teach people how to close. You've got to teach people how do you ask that closing question?
Yeah.
Now, one of the things, and I'm going back to Warray's book now.
Yes.
Do you remember how that close works?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
I remember. So it went within the network marketing space. He would say, by joining, how many hours are you prepared to put into this business in the week, right?
So that's I put you on the spot there a little bit.
I had to open that file cabinet or that folder.
Yeah. So the issue is, the first thing you'd say, what did you like most about this?
Sure. So this is the follow up after someone has seen the company tools and the
So
the
they've got to
videos.
be able to close, but you can actually teach everybody to close like this. So you need to have somebody who's prepared to ask the questions. So the first thing is, what did you like most?
That was
about
horrible.
this?
That I couldn't even go through the close. You said I'm the
that's
perfect
fine.
person.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I couldn't remember it. So when you started talking about it, all came back to me now in a flood. So that's good. Okay, so first thing is, what did you like most? The guy says, oh, I liked X, Y, and Z.
Sure.
Okay. The second thing is, to make this worth your while, how much would you need to earn?
Yes.
And so what you don't want to do is, you don't want to put pressure on the person to say, I need to earn X amount of money, or you don't want to tell them you can earn 50,000 Rand a month, because you don't know what their earning requirement is.
Right.
So they give you a number. They say, well, I need to earn $150 or $200 a month would be fantastic. Whatever that number is, it's fine. Then you say to them, okay, in order to earn $200 a month, how many hours a week are you prepared to commit to the project?
Sure.
Now the person is telling you, they say, that, okay, 5 hours a week. Okay? And then the next question is, for how many months are you prepared to do that to earn $200 a month? The guy says to you,
4 months.
6 months, whatever, 4 months. So, okay, so now the close comes in. So if I could show you how to earn $200 a month, working 5 hours a week for the next 6 months, you would be in, right?
Yes, I'd be in.
Exactly. And so the issue is that you find this person who's enthusiastic, who's excited, who's all of that. You take them through the process where you teach them how to connect with people, how to get people into a meeting, how to share the company tools with them, how to get those people signed up, and then teach them how to close that person. And now you get them to duplicate themselves 1,000 times.
Sure.
And they've got nothing else to do because they're not part of the network. You must never, ever allow your jockey to be part of the network.
Yes. Yeah.
They're employed. You pay them well.
Mm-hmm.
Their job is to go out and build the network, but not to be part of the network, because you don't want them feathering their own bed.
Right.
Because what happens is that they see this guy and they think, well, this guy's very good. John brought that guy, but John is actually not doing too well. Let me put this guy into my own team. And you'll end up with all sorts of problems. Then people don't want to bring their people to have the jockey pitch to them. It creates all sorts of problems. Whereas if the jockey works for the company and not for the network, then everybody's happy, because they know that this jockey is equally happy to help anybody out there.
You've gone into something that I wanted to discuss here, which was how we remunerate this jockey. They are a company employee, so they're paid by the company, so there'd be a salary,
Yes,
right?
there'd be a salary.
Do we look on some sort of incentive plan for this jockey?
I would have target-based incentives.
Okay.
So if you hit this, we're going to give you this payout. If you hit that, we're going to give you that payout.
Okay.
Your annual 13th check depends on hitting certain targets. So if you have a look at any sales environment in the world, the guys have got target-based incentives.
Yes.
What you don't want to do is you don't want to pay the guy a percentage of turnover, because
Yeah.
then he's part of the network.
Right.
Suddenly he's earning a percentage of whatever's happening here. So with all of your salespeople who you get in, give them hard targets to reach. If they hit those targets, you give them a bonus. And so that's how I would do it with the guys. Make sure that the bonuses are worthwhile. Make
Right.
sure that it's
Yeah.
driving them.
Yeah.
You know, you can say to them, you get us 10,000 members, we're going to give you a 100,000 Rand check. That suddenly becomes worth going for, you know, because the guy gets 100 grand. Now, it could work out as a percentage of the turnover. You could say, I want to allocate a percentage of the turnover. 10,000 people would actually give me this much. I'm prepared to pay that much. But you don't tie the two things together.
Right. So, because the two things that you want your ambassador to do is you want them to grow the network.
Yeah.
So you need to see the numbers. Another thing that you need them to do is sell the product. So you need to teach them how to. The brand ambassador needs to teach them how to sell the product,
Exactly.
so that they're generating a higher average sales per month per member.
Yes.
So if you've got many people in the network selling more products, then you incentivize them. So that's how you hit and you manage those milestone
And
targets.
I would absolutely make all incentives based on the amount of product that gets sold.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make the incentives actually based on the number of people you get in.
Sure.
So you say, okay, on average, take Europe, for example, there's $1,200 or euros, should I say.
Yeah.
1,200 euros per member per month is the sales that you can expect in Europe. So therefore, you can say, okay, if we had 1,000 active people, it would be 1,200 times 1.2 million euros would be coming in. And so you could provide incentives that when the person hits that basis, they get a certain payout. And I would make those fairly, if you're a startup company, I would make those fairly easy to achieve. So as soon as you've got your first 10 people, there'd be an incentive. So you first 120,000 euros of sales or whatever it is, or 12,000 euros of sales in actual fact, you get a bonus. At 120,000, you'd get a bonus. At 300,000, you get a bonus. So you get bonuses as you hit milestones.
Yeah.
And then you can also then, as the person gets to, the business becomes mature, you can put that person onto a higher salary and pay them an annual bonus based on maintaining certain volumes.
Sure. Okay. Now, for me, one of the most difficult things was for our company owners is to find this person. I mean, how do we even find this person? Where do we go look? And these are the questions I know that company owners are asking right now watching this.
Now, Stuart, that's something I'm actually going to throw this porcupine back into your lap, because how do you find that? I mean, our story is very different, okay?
That's very unique.
Yeah, very unique. So you don't find people like you easily the way that we did. You were sitting next to us in the coffee shop and you decided to fondle my wife's leg for some reason.
I didn't touch. I was close. I was nearby.
You
I
were
was
just
plugging in my laptop.
You're plugging in your laptop. That's your
that's
excuse.
what I say.
That's what your excuse, and I see you sticking to it. But the bottom of the line, we got talking, and obviously it ended up, we became friends, and then you ended up coming to be part of this Net Ready project.
Sure.
But for most part, people, that's not how it happens. How are you going to go about finding a jockey if you were running a company? What would you do?
Well, what we've done is, I mean, we've had a number of case studies that we can pull this from, and where we find them, and we've looked at a number of different areas. If it's employing from within and taking them to become ambassadors, it doesn't work. You think you have the right person, our accountant, for example, definitely the wrong choice. Not ours, one of our company owners. But where we found the most success is through LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is an amazing platform, and we are going to do a future podcast on LinkedIn and the whole prospecting and building your network there. But where you find LinkedIn is someone is putting their CV out, which is their profile on LinkedIn, saying, I have experience in sales. I like people. I want to stand up there and I want to stand on stage, and I have this charismatic personality. They've got videos and they've got resumes on their whole history. Their CV is sitting there waiting for you to read and then interview.
And to approach them.
And there's a number of ways that you can say that you're looking for a person, and it's free. If you're a company owner on LinkedIn, you can say, I'm advertising for an opportunity for someone to become an ambassador for this company. I'm looking for skills A, B, C, D.
Including a skill in multi-level marketing, somebody who understands the multi-level marketing industry.
And Richard, that is the most important part. I forgot to mention that, but being a salesperson is one thing, being charismatic is another, but you need to have experience within this industry. And once you get all these applications in from your people on LinkedIn, again, it's free, you then interview those people and you eventually have that personal connection that you're going to have. My advice for company owners out there is to give the business opportunity presentation as part of the recruitment process. So if I've got 4 people out there, I'll give the opportunity presentation, learn it, and then present it back to me. And you'll soon get a feel out of those four people, who is the best at presenting, who is the biggest personality, who's going to look after and nurture and train the network. That is the person.
So in actual fact, before you employ them at all, you're going to teach them how to do the presentation. Maybe you've got a video on it or something.
Sure.
You give them the presentation, and their job is to actually recruit you online. So you sit through a 30-minute opportunity meeting, and you can then ascertain whether this person has got what it takes.
Exactly. And this has worked so well in the past. We found the right people. You can go so far down the line with someone who isn't the right fit, but they'll learn, they'll get it. But the reality is you either have it or you don't.
And you want somebody, first of all, when you are paring down to the 4 people that you're going to test, those 4 people need to be passionate about multi-level marketing. You don't want people coming in, and we've had it, clients who come in, I don't want to use the word multi-level marketing. I'm going to call it whatever. And then I say to them, listen, if that's how you feel about the industry, go back to retail. Because if you think you can't even say the word MLM, because you're so shy about it, because you don't believe in it, then why are you getting into it?
Exactly.
People who do something they don't believe in are con artists. And so why are you trying to be a con artist? Rather don't do it. So that's very, very important. When you're signing up a salesperson, you want somebody who believes in multi-level marketing. And through LinkedIn, it's easy because you advertise it as, and somebody who believes in multi-level marketing.
Sure.
And then you only get people who believe in the industry, and you can ask them what they think of it. Have they heard any negatives? How do they respond to the negatives? Those questions can all come into play.
So for me, the best way to recruit your brand ambassador is through LinkedIn. And I would seriously guide our company owners on doing so. The other thing is your role as a company owner to manage these ambassadors. You set their targets and you have daily interactions with these people just as a salaried employee, because that's what they are. You need to make sure that they have been held to those targets, and if they're not achieving them, support them with different ways in which you can go out and do presentations. Maybe it's a roadshow that they need to do around the country, and they need to go and meet with all the different people, these key leaders in all the different regions to establish their network.
You've got to measure to manage.
Exactly.
And so you need to be on this guy, this girl, whoever it is, on a daily basis, like any other salesperson out there. Because if they do the work, your business will grow. And so we've seen it. Companies go and they say, okay, my friend John is amazing in this. I'm going to give him the top position in the network. But John now has got the top position in the network. He's not held to any. He does it or he doesn't do it.
Sure.
He gets up in the morning or he doesn't. You can't actually, you've got no leverage over the person. Whereas if you employ them and you're paying them a good salary, you've got leverage.
Right.
And now you can say to them, listen, you have to do these things and it's measurable and I'm going to manage you and I want to see those things being done. And if the business doesn't grow on a fire, you're Sorry, did I just say the A word?
I don't think so.
Didn't mean it.
I don't think so. We'll beep it out.
But you understand the situation is that if you don't do the work, your job is at risk. And so now that is a person you can absolutely manage and you can hold them accountable for everything that you're doing because there's a fair exchange. I'm saying, I will give you this cash if you do these items. If I don't give you the cash, you will leave. If you don't do these items, you will leave as well. So this is a fair exchange. It's like a normal job, and you can actually manage that person. So, and it's the most important part of the business. Everything else is immaterial. You can actually not be rock solid on your product, or you can have a Mickey Mouse compensation plan. There's 1,000 things you can be doing wrong. But if you don't have a key person who's driving the business for you, that jockey, your business will go nowhere. I've seen companies with amazing jockeys take a fairly ridiculous product and have an incredible business out of it. As a matter of fact, the reason MLM has got a bad name is because a good jockey can sell canned air.
Right.
I was going to use canned bad air.
Yes.
To a network of people and generate millions of dollars. A bad jockey won't be able to sell gold at cost. It just won't happen. So your jockey, I cannot even begin to stress how important that jockey is. And as you say, you know, LinkedIn is the ideal way of connecting with people. You don't need to go through an agency or anything. LinkedIn is where you connect with them. Tell them what you're looking for exactly. People will apply for the job. You're up and running.
Okay. So how critical is it for you to have a network jockey or a brand ambassador in place?
Exactly.
Absolutely critical. Okay.
Exactly. And they need to be good.
Sure. Okay.
You have to pay them well to get a good person. But whatever you pay them, if you've got the right person, whatever you pay them is cheap.
Sure. Yeah. And manage them properly.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Richard. Thanks so much for the time.
Absolutely brilliant. It was wonderful doing it.
It was good. Thank you so much. Guys out there, thank you so much for dedicating your time to us. We hope you enjoyed this content on the brand ambassador or the network jockey. For all other information and all other content that we upload to YouTube and our social media platforms, please follow us on the YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications each time we upload. Follow us on our LinkedIn as well as our Facebook channel. If you're sitting in the car with nothing else to do, listen to us on Spotify. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.